Hi everyone. We are not doing an Instagram live. We are actually doing a recorded Zoom call since Instagram was giving us some troubles. But I'm here with Michael Murphy, and we are doing what I'm calling like a move with T1D. So I'm talking with athletes and people that are really into kind of sports and activities just to really hear a little bit more about how they manage their type 1 diabetes, like with sports and activity and different exercise, so that we can get a little bit more insights and it kind of helps us feel more comfortable moving. So today I'm with Michael Murphy. He has been living with type 1 diabetes for almost 30 years, I think, around 30
For
years.
30 years next month.
Ah, so you have a diversity coming up.
A big roundy one, as they say.
Yeah, yeah. And he is a qualified mountaineering lead. He also is certified in sports and human nutrition. And he has been on some pretty incredible hiking expeditions across Ireland, but also across the world. And this month, because it is, St. Patrick's Day is around the corner, I was saying this is the Irish edition. So I wanted to welcome Michael here. And also, Michael, I guess we'll kick things off. And if you could just share a little bit about your diabetes, your type 1 diabetes story, and then also how you kind of got into hiking.
Yeah. How are you, Aaron? Thanks a million for the invite. It's lovely to be here. But yeah, I got into it because I got into mountaineering because I got diagnosed with diabetes. And uh, when I was diagnosed, I had planned on doing a 250-mile cycle for a charity thing, a 2 day thing, cycle that went all the way around Clare. But when I got diagnosed, I couldn't do it the first year, so I did it the second year. And when I did it, I was pretty detailed on my recording of bloods all the way around and through training and all of that kind of stuff. And when I gave the bloods up, when I gave the recordings of the bloods and food eaten and everything to I think it was Nicola Vizard up in the Matter. She was pretty impressed with it, and I got a phone call then sometime after that to ask me to get involved in a climb of Kilimanjaro for Diabetes Ireland, and because of that, I started climbing around Ireland. Before that, I would have been involved in fishing mainly, but a little bit of
Mm,
hunting as well, shooting. And so I was always out and about. I was always in the fields. But this, because of getting diabetes, I ended up going from the fields and the rivers and the lakes into the mountains. And I haven't stopped since. It's been a wonderful experience. Uh, in that weird way of the world, because of getting diabetes, it brought me to the mountains, and because of that, it opened up a big world of fitness and training and a really busy life, really good busy life, and it brought me to meet a world of people, including yourself, in our own little way from our
yeah.
bit of a dia hike a few years ago, and to get to know people, you get to know them more personally, and
Mm,
when you're in the mountains, it's a different kind of a thing and a wonderful thing. But the reason we're here tonight is because of diabetes, and it's really improved my health. Lucky enough to be in my mid 50s now, and I'm pretty fit. And when I look at my friends, I can go past most of them pretty easy. But it's all because of the that fitness that mountains give you and the constant success that you get when you're doing um, little challenges. Like last weekend, we were in the Knockmeal Downs, but it was 20 kilometers, so it was
wow.
pretty decent challenge, like
Yeah.
with 1,000 meters ascent for a day. And I stood with some pretty fit and strong people, and few of them were having second thoughts about me being there because I've made it so public because of the 30 years I've made it so public.
Yeah.
Uh, was having diabetes. A few of them were getting nervous about me
Mm.
because because I've been so public about it. So it was wonderful to uh, do a bit of messing at the end of it and just show off a little bit and like find a couple of things, just messing. But it was literally just to show that it doesn't matter what condition you have,
Yeah.
putting one foot in front of the other, and hiking. It's low stress and it's low impact on the
Mm.
body. So there's no reason why anybody who has reasonable control over their blood, there's no reason why you can't do it. And it is one of the best things you can do from my studies of nutrition and the little bit that I know about the human body and how it
Yeah.
works. Everything works better when you're doing that low level, uh, uh, low impact, low stress uh, exercise like hiking
Mm.
or walking or going into your forest for a bit of local forest. There's communities like that in most areas these days, and a walk around any forest park would be better than a walk around a town. And
Yeah.
this kind of stuff is just built that way.
Yeah, well, it definitely sounds like you've been on a journey in terms of like just your hiking with type 1 diabetes, but as you said, you were very already kind of an outdoorsy person, and then comes your diagnosis with type 1 diabetes, and it was kind of more like there's this silver lining that it kind of led you to hiking, and through hiking you were able to challenge yourself a little bit and maybe push through barriers, it sounds like, and keep going to progress your diabetes forward with the hikes, and with that getting to meet new, other people, and really just really enjoying that outdoor environment. And so with all of that, then how how do you manage your glucose levels throughout a hike? Particularly, how do you prevent hypos from happening?
Yeah, it's it's very easy and very complicated. The human body is just it's so complicated in how it works, but there's a few basics that make a big difference. And I try to simplify it in this kind of a way when I'm
Hmm.
talking to myself or when I'm talking to others. But you have 74 billion cells, give or take, in the body. That could be trillion, but anyway, it's a whole pile of cells, and each each group of cells performs in different ways uh, and requires different things. So, in order for you to function really well in the mountains or in marathon running or any other form of exercise that requires more than 5 or 10 minutes, uh, you should be prepping from a day or two out,
Okay.
depending on the level of exercise that's involved and the level of punishment you're putting yourself through. But if you're doing if like I was doing last
Duration and
weekend,
intensity, like
yeah,
that all comes into play.
yeah, but you can't do that on the day. You have to do
Right.
that the day before.
Yeah.
So you have to get all of the cells. So your body has a system of stocking up the cells so that stores are 100%. Uh, and the only way you can do that is the day before. So you eat well the day before. You eat good quality, simple food with a lot of nutrients in it, and you eat three, maybe even four times in the day.
Mm.
Uh, it's not a big plate of food or anything like that, but you make sure that you don't skip meals, that you don't eat low nutrient food.
Mm.
You just make sure that your body is stocked up with everything that it needs
Yeah.
to get you through the next day. Because when you're going to the mountains, there's usually a drive, so it's a long day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether you have diabetes or not, you get drained by the end of it. No matter what way you go about it, you're going to be drained by the end of it. Because all of the excess carbohydrates and proteins and fats, they'll all be burnt off, and your body then will be craving at the end of it or during it. If you run out, your body starts to run out. So the most important thing is the day before,
Yeah.
that you eat well the day before, and on the day then I go between a couple of eggs in the morning, usually uh, usually taken out of the steamer because it's fast. So you're getting up early in the morning, you want fast food. So
Right.
I usually have a slice of bread with two eggs and maybe a bit of black pudding. And I'd be sitting into the car then at between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning and
Mm.
hitting to a place. Uh, but on the way, I'll do my best to stop and, as they say, lick the greasy spoon. I might have a couple of sausages and black pudding. Uh,
Get your
there's
protein in.
Well, it's the fats.
And the
Fats slow
fats, yeah.
down. Yeah, yeah. So if you eat, like if I'm doing an evening hike up the burn, I'll usually eat a bag of chips because you get a release about an hour later. So all of the glucose comes into
Mm.
your system about an hour later, which is just when you're starting off and
Right, right. It'll
you're first
balance out
hitting
kind of like the
it.
exercise and the spikes. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a wonderful excuse for eating a bag of
Don't we
chips.
love those excuses?
Yeah, yeah. But But yeah, that for me is the most important thing. And I remember putting it into practice when I was doing a couple of marathons, and again, I had no issue with doing the two marathons that I did, and whatever 10 or 15 half marathons, and
Mm.
uh, once I figured out how to do it, it was literally no problem doing them, and it was amazing how simple and complicated it is. Like you can go into all of the different cells in the body and say why this needs this, why this needs that, why protein, fat are required for this, but you don't need to. You just need to know that you have to have your body stocked up, and you need to eat good quality food the day before, and enough of it to make sure that you have enough in your system, so that if your system is low, you end up crashing because
Yeah. Yeah. I've
your
been there
body,
before.
yeah, your body requires the glucose that will be within the body to keep the heart and the brain sometimes, but the heart and the liver are kind of the main things.
Yeah.
So they have to be kept going and they have to be fully stocked. So if the rest of the body is running out, uh, your your brain gets switched off, your legs get switched off, your muscles get switched off, and you end up in trouble. And that has happened to me as well, by the way.
Yeah, and it's not a nice place to be, when you're in the
No.
middle of your activity and you just have to sit, you have to sit down and you have to allow the time to pass and your body to recover. And so there is something to be said about planning for your activity, and particularly if it's going to be a day activity like a hike. And I remember now, correct me if this is wrong. Remember when we did our diet hike a few years ago, and you were saying, after a length of time of exercise, your body actually needs to restock on fuel, energy, food. Can you tell us a little bit about, in your experience, what that's like on a hike? Like how long after exercise would you go ahead and refuel yourself for fear of going low?
Yeah, again, the complexity of the body, but the energy systems within the body are worth noting as well. That whether you have diabetes or not, you start to go low at an hour and a half. We'll say an hour and a half with something like hiking,
Mm.
but if it's very high intensity, it can be from 45 minutes on to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But you
So like
will,
running or like swimming or something like that.
especially if you're going hard at it. Like if you're really looking for a time, you have to watch for your 40 minutes to an hour and a half because you, whether you have diabetes or not, you will be going low. So you have to prep to stop. Uh, and sometimes if I know I have to really keep going, if I'm with people that there's very intense uphill on it, take I'll take a couple of lifts at an hour and a half,
Mm,
regardless. Even if my bloods are high, because I know I'm going to have burnt off all of
yeah.
the really easily available um, glucose within the body. And it's always worked for me, even if I have been 7 or 8 in terms of blood sugar readings or interstitial fluid readings from the sensors.
Right.
But I'll still take something on board because I know I'm going to crash
Mm,
if I don't. And again, at 4 hours, your energy systems go through another uh, um, uh, wave where you have to move from one system to the other,
right.
and in the interim, you can end up crashing. And we had that wonderful occasion up in the Burn where we seen 4 people, and the 4 of us had the exact same
Yep.
effect.
Yep.
And I've shown it to several people since, and it's amazing to see it in action. But something small to eat. John West does these little plates. They're about €3. Bought a few of them for €3 in Tesco during the week,
Yeah.
and you have beans and a bit of tuna and a bit of pasta, and it just stops you. It provides your body with what it requires to start to rebuild and repair, but it also stops you from going into a crash mode,
Later
and
on,
you
right?
will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has happened. People have died. Non-diabetics have died on the road home,
Mm.
just because their brain would have been switched off after long days. Because
Yeah, yeah, and they
in
wouldn't have been thinking about refueling right afterwards. It's just okay, go. Yeah, finish.
literally the second you stop, you have to get some food into you, whether it's a small sandwich, and it doesn't take a lot. Small sandwich left in the car, and a bottle of water, and
Yeah.
some couple of biscuits or something like that. So it's very important to do that. Um, I notice with 780G these days that I don't really my bloods don't crash as much
Mm,
afterwards. Um, but you still, regardless, your body will be crashing even if your
yeah.
blood are being supported by the 780G in the way it works. It definitely stops the blood sugars going low, but the rest of your body will be looking for
Right.
rebuild and repair. So if you provide it, the body is quite happy,
Mm-hmm.
and if the body is
It'll
happy,
take
you
it
don't
in.
get crashes. Yeah, yeah. But it when the body gets depleted, that crashes happen. Uh, it's the same with water with the brain. Most people that fall off a mountain, they fall off because they haven't drank enough water. Um, and it's really simple stuff. But if you get it wrong, the consequences are they're not good, and you can end up developing. Sorry, you can end up developing a fear as a result, and that's not good either.
Yeah.
You want to be able to enjoy yourself and get the most out of the mountain.
Yeah, so there's a lot to be said for planning and then having enough food for you throughout the whole day. Now, obviously, the food that you are going to eat and going to take with you is going to be dependent on, as we said, the duration. So if you're going for a few, if it's just a small hike, but still, regardless, thank you for kind of simplifying the process. You know, the preparation between 1 2 days beforehand, you know, the morning when you get up and you eat something, and then, you know, the beforehand, and then after, the length of time, those intervals, the is it the hour and a half, and then the 3 hour mark, and, you know, it
Yeah,
continues on, and then especially at the very end. And you've already talked about one of my favorite topics, which is food. Thanks for touching on some of, you know, your food that you like to eat that and supports your body and your exercise. What's one of your favorite, I don't know, favorite or just craziest expeditions that you've been on? Something that you've really enjoyed?
I've been lucky enough to have a few of them. There's actually a picture. Where is it? Up here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I see it there. There's ice. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure that's ice.
yeah. There was a big climb up in Austria once upon a time. With
Brilliant.
friend of mine. I'll go for the concert if I can.
Let's take a better
It
look.
was- I don't know if you can see it. No, you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, yeah, we can.
Yeah. But that's in a place in Austria, just across the road from where that man basically brought his girlfriend up. You might have heard of the case. He brought his girlfriend up, and she died, and he kept going and left her there. But the mountain literally across the road is the one we're on there, and um, usually it's a lot easier when you're with friends, but sometimes you can get advice
Yeah,
from friends that such and such will be available. And if it's not available, you're in trouble. They're not.
mm,
So I was told on that particular time that there was a hut up the top and I'd be able to get whatever food I wanted there.
yeah,
And there'd be loads of Lucozade or whatever. So don't bring any more than we needed. It was 9 hours up to the hut,
oh
and we
jeez.
were going on to climb the peak the next day. And of course, there wasn't enough of the right type of food for me up there, and I ended up in trouble. But the lad that told me the food was there ended up losing his sandwich because I said, "Listen, if you don't give it to me, it's going to be going down, and there's going to be trouble." But but yeah, that was the big lesson. But great climb,
Yeah,
and it was 9 hours up to the hut. The next day, it was 5 hours across the peak, and we walked down off the
wow.
mountain. Then, so it was pretty serious distances and
Yeah,
really hot high mountain in Austria, second highest in Austria, with a
wow.
bit of climbing and snow and glacier crossing and sort of things. But the hardest one I did was in Iceland.
Mm,
That was 15 hours straight across um, the ice cap on um, Iceland. It's 100 miles, 100 kilometers by 150 kilometers,
wow.
and we were going into solid ice, and whatever, with a series of volcanoes in through the middle of it. Most amazing place, but uh,
Yeah,
we
Iceland has
were.
some incredible scenery, isn't it? And it's very diverse, and especially with the volcanic landscape too.
Yeah, it's an amazing place, but that particular climb was 2,500 meters from sea level,
Oh wow.
and uh, uh, only 2 hours were on dry land or on rock and stone. The rest was out over glacier, and it was horrendously difficult. But I had the equivalent of 36 bottles of Lucozade,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I came back down with nothing left.
Well, that just goes to show you how much energy you burn and how much energy you need to restock into your body, and particularly with type 1 diabetes, really, really keeping an eye on that.
Yeah,
Wow, that's yeah, that's incredible. It sounds like both of those hikes were very majestic and challenging in their own ways, not only physical, mentally, and also preparing yourself. But yeah, that sounds like quite an adventure.
there was one very interesting thing in terms of that was back in the days of MDI, but I didn't take any long acting insulin for a week afterwards. It's, uh, it's literally the body had been depleted so much that I didn't require, and I was eating full meals, and I didn't require any insulin, any long acting or short acting insulin for a week and a half, and it was 3 weeks before the body went back to normal.
Huh.
So I thought
Wow.
I cured my
Yeah,
diabetes by
yeah.
climbing the mountain.
But it just goes to show you, how exercise really works with the body and also, insulin sensitivity and how it works, how your body uses your insulin as well. So that's an interesting find and insight, from doing that after your hike, Jihad.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if there's one last thing, if there's one thing that you could tell somebody with type 1 diabetes or anybody with diabetes about hiking who may be a little bit nervous or a bit anxious to do it, what would you say to them?
Well, everything is prepared, but uh, the most important thing is really to get out.
Yeah,
So, crudely, it's get up off your arse and go. If it's
the Irish
if,
way, arse.
yeah, yeah. If, if it's in your mind to do it, you can do it. There's no reason you can't do it. Uh, it Diabetes adds that extra bit of stress to it, but if you prepare correctly and you surround yourself with the right people, um, and if I was to give anybody advice, I usually say this if I'm talking to younger people, 100% about the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
One of the great things about the mountains is people don't be stressful. They don't be competitive quite as much
Mm,
as other events. There's no pushing and shoving. People are usually happy to help you if you get stuck, but you also have an obligation yourself to prepare and don't do anything silly and don't compromise a group. But nonetheless, um, all you have to do is prepare. Make sure you have enough lifts, um, and be ready for bigger stuff. But to start, it's just uh, put your boot on and strap them up, and away you go, and enjoy it. It's a
yeah.
wonderful world out there, and there's no reason why that little bit of stress of diabetes should stop you going experiencing it, and you know, and get out, enjoy it.
Absolutely. Try it. Try new things out. It is about a little bit of trial and a little bit of error as well, and tweaking things for the next time and breaking through any of those kind of barriers that you've built up in your head and finding your diatribe, surrounding the people. Yeah, I like that. And Michael, I'm sure people are going to have lots of questions and comments, but where can they find you? If are you where on social media are you?
I'm pretty good on the. Uh, you probably know my name and number on the to them better than I do, but on the Instagram and
Yeah, I'll
Facebook,
tag I'll tag I'll tag you so people
you
can
can
find you.
tag me on the to them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, if anybody's got questions, put it in the comments below. But thanks, Michael, for sharing your not only just your diabetes journey, but like literally your journey on all of your hikes and all of your insights that you've gained from your experience and also your education and your knowledge. I think this is really helpful and it encourages other people to go on hikes. We have some incredible hikes in Ireland, and you know, they're so accessible too. I think that's the other thing. And just remember, everybody that's listening, always talk to your diabetes care team if you do need to tweak anything with your diabetes regime. But Michael, thanks again for sharing your journey with us. And yeah, anything else you have to say?
No, that's pretty much it. I
That's
think
it. That's a
it's,
wrap.
yeah, that's a wrap. We'll go with
All
that.
right. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah.